Taylor, Elon Musk, Alex Jones, X, formerly known as Twitter, talk to us.
Yes, so you guys probably have seen the news. Elon Musk reinstates Alex Jones on X. And of course, it created controversy. Why? Because it's the infamous Alex Jones. And Musk considers himself a free speech absolutist. And so he actually ran a poll on if he should reinstate Alex Jones or not. The poll said yes, and so he did. And kind of want to break down some of the laws when it comes to free speech and online and the different platforms.
Real quick, that yes was 70% of the people on Twitter that voted. Yeah, it was a huge number.
Yes.
So it wasn't like 51-49. There was a vast majority that wanted it
Yeah,
back.
that's 70. That's a lot of people.
And that's what we call democracy, right?
I love it.
The people won.
I love it.
And so just some statistics. According to a 2021 report, Article 9, a global freedom of expression organization, 73 countries now have laws that restrict online content. That is up from 65 countries in 2017. Other shocking facts regarding censorship online. In 2021, Facebook removed 1.7 billion pieces of content that violated its community standards. Twitter suspended over 70 million accounts in 2021 of its violating its rules. YouTube removed over 8 million videos in 2021 for violating its policies. And so the United States, there was actually a bill that was introduced, the Free Speech Protection Act. It is a bill introduced by the House Judiciary Committee Chairman Jim Jordan. And what it was a bill to prohibit executive branch employees and contractors from using their positions to censor, otherwise attack free speech protected by the First Amendment. And so the bill would also impose mandatory penalties for those who of the executive branch employees who censored speech. And then there was a bill that would also mandate frequent publicly accessible reports from the head of executive branch agencies detailing communication between an executive branch agency and big tech. This would ensure that the public is aware of any efforts of the government to censor speech through its relationships with tech and companies. The bill would also ensure that federal grant money is not misused to label media organizations as a source of misinformation or disinformation. This would also prevent the government from using its power to silence critical voices. And finally, the bill would terminate several programs and authorities that threaten free speech and other constitutional priorities and the rights. And so with him bringing back on Alex Jones, because of course there's free speech, there's the First Amendment. You can't put violence on someone, or you can't threaten someone in a certain extent. But my question to all of you comes with, one, was it right? Should have Elon Musk brought him back to X? And also, what are your thoughts when it comes to online platform and censorship? And are you in favor of the bill when it comes to disconnecting the government to put on these policies when it comes to online platforms? What do you guys feel should be the route when it comes to censorship, and where should they play a role in government on online platforms when it comes to censorship?
Brent, what do you think?
Yeah, so I think, so first, love Alex Jones. Really happy he's back. He's right about the vast majority of things he talks about. Second, for online censorship, I would say that it's the best practice to let people say whatever they're going to say and let the court of public opinion be the ones who decides where things fall, what's right and wrong. Because, at the end of the day, if you say something that's messed up and that people don't like, you're going to be an outcast. People are going to, look down on you for that. You don't need to be blocked. A lot of times it's even more dangerous, because that's how, echo chambers form, and people say, oh, we can't talk here. Let's form a group and talk over here if they're not going to let us talk in the spot. And to properly combat what social media companies are doing, I'd say repeal Section 230 for sure, because that's the clause that was created to make them not liable for censoring people, because you're not supposed to be able to censor people and violate the First Amendment, but Section 230 allows them to do that.
Yeah, now and what do you think about? I think government. I don't want anything with government involved when it comes to social media. If you're out in the street, and mind you, and this is a very slippery slope. I'm 100% pro First Amendment. I'm a freaking comedian. I'd say whatever I want, and I agree with you 100%. Let the people say what they're going to say, so you could see who's say. So we know what we're dealing with. When it comes to Alex, and I'm happy that he's back on. Like you said, Brent, he's made a lot of right predictions, 9/11 being one of them. He made a stupid mistake. He apologized many times for it. He didn't. By the way, I'm not gonna lie to you guys either. When it was happening, I was asking some questions too, because everybody was talking, but at least we got to see it. Zero government involvement, because we saw what happened with the government sending the FBI to Twitter, 80 agents, Rob, they had their own freaking office, and they were censoring stories that we should have seen that factually would have changed people's minds in voting in 2020 for Joe Biden or Donald Trump. So I think any involvement with the government has to be taken out. But at the same token, I think it's where's the free speech? Like what's happening right now with people in the streets protesting because they're pro Hamas. Like the crazy thing is, we have to let them say it. You can't.
Look what happened to them. They got criticized, and a lot of them backed down.
Exactly, because I think about it. If somebody wants to be in the street and say, free Palestine, and they're pro Hamas, you can't stop. That's what makes this country amazing.
Yeah.
You have to let them do it. Deplatforming, I mean, it does, because those are privately owned. Some of them are private, some of them are public companies. It's like, I agree, Brandon. I think we just have to let them go out there and say what the hell they want, so we know that what we're working with. And I want to ask you a question before you say what you're going to say. If Hitler was around and social media was around, what do you think, he wouldn't be able to be anywhere?
Well,
correct?
I mean, we allow terrorists on Twitter, so he might actually be allowed on them.
I was just going to say, the Ayatollah and all these guys that their motto is death to America, how are their accounts, ISIS and shit has Twitter, they have their accounts, but yet
Trump,
all these guys got taken down for saying, they were saying some crazy shit, but it wasn't death to America.
Andrew Tate
and all these guys. So it's like who we let exercise their First Amendment opposed to who we don't is kind of crazy, because if it doesn't fit their narrative, they take you down. What were you going to say, Chris?
Yeah, I'm right there with you. I'm an active user on Twitter. I've kind of had a love-hate relationship since Elon bought it. I thought he came out of the gates perfect. I loved it. He hired that lady, Linda Yaccarino, and I thought set us back a little bit. Seemingly figured it out. I'm all for Alex Jones getting back on. Look, I think it's, along what you just said, you kind of weed out who believes what. Just a week ago, we saw 3 elite university presidents come out and speak, right? 2 of them are gone now. So that doesn't happen, and we don't get these people out of these prominent positions to kind of influence the next generation of people if that video doesn't spread, right? With that, I sort of love that they're coming at Elon, because when you get these guys with these big egos, an Elon, a Trump, a Dana White, and you kind of back them into a corner and make them public enemy number 1, maybe Elon needed to get pissed off. I love it. I love it too. And then what I would just say pertaining to the end of your point is, they do silence people, but I am yet to see someone on the other side be deplatformed. And when that happens, then I think I'll feel a little bit, unless I'm wrong.
Yeah, who
on the other side has had their platform taken away? Name
a prominent, Rob, because I want to hear your opinion too, because Taylor asked us, I wanted to hit Rob. Who on the left do you know of that's a great point. Name somebody on the left. I mean, they're probably out there like that we don't even know. But I'm talking about name a prominent name in the public view, either in politics or sports or something, or whatever.
There was a censure, not censure, which is the closest.
Censured. Like, dude, this isn't about the social media thing, but what about the Bowman, the guy that pulled the fire alarm? He's like, no, I didn't do it. That's not, and he's censured, but he's still working.
Yeah, and same thing with the Rashida Tlaib or whatever her name is, for being all pro-Hamas. Like
Hamas with a flag outside, which
she's still allowed to say it, but she got censured by the Congress, which just means they're saying shame on you. We disapprove of that. Yeah.
What do you think, Rob?
It's very interesting that I listened to the Spaces yesterday it was yesterday with Tucker Carlson, and Benny Johnson had brought up a great point about the 2024 election and how Twitter is really the only place where now it's an unfettered place where you can get information from both sides, right?
Yeah.
It said people are going to post things with a bias, but it's not censoring things from the left. It's not censoring things from the right. It's becoming a place where you can have conversations, whether you agree or disagree, those conversations can be had.
Yeah.
But what's interesting is you look at how they're trying to hurt Musk, right? Because think about it. Before he owned Twitter, who owned it?
Jack
Dorsey.
Jack Dorsey.
Now he takes over, and it's a mass exodus of advertisers all at one time, right? The Disney Corporation, Walmart removing their ads. And then they'll say, well, it's because we're not getting the return on our investment. But what it seems like it's more like is, hey, let's try and make this platform lose as much money as possible so that Elon can get rid of it and we can put someone in charge of it that can go back to censoring the speech of people.
Oh, dude, and he is, I think we talked about this, he is he's the left's public enemy number one. Dude, they operate to brainwash and control information. That's how they stay up here.